this story is kind of interesting. I took my family, my wife and my kids, and we went down to Virginia Beach uh, and went to see Serban, but we also visited Chad Hugo. And Chad Hugo and Pharrell, they're the Neptunes of the production team. And we went over to the studio that Chad had just bought with Pharrell. And my wife, she wrote for Keyboard Magazine for about 10 years, and she wrote for Musician, and she wrote for a bunch of magazines. And the conversation got into Chad wanted people to know that they're more of a technical production company rather than just people that talk people into good songs. So he was very interested in having an article written about the technical end of how they write their hit songs and produce their hit songs. And at that point, I mean, they were producers of the year at the Grammys. I mean, these guys were on fire. So my wife agreed to write the article. And what she did is me and my wife, Daria, we went to New York to meet with Chad. He was working in a studio up there. And she did a very extensive interview with him. And I'm pretty sure it's a Musician magazine. And she went through all the details of how he technically put the songs together, because he was the technical end of things. Pharrell, I don't think he was the technical. And then once she got through all that, and Chad was very gracious and spent all that time, talking to her, and she took all her notes. And then she had to interview Pharrell. And the only way we could interview Pharrell was get him on the phone. And she tried to interview him, and it was the most difficult thing. Anything she would ask him, he would say it was an act of God, or he's blessed. Or he wouldn't give her any direct answers. So it was driving her crazy. So she just wrote around that. But she had enough from Chad to write the whole article, exactly what gear they were using, how they were doing things, very technical. And then she got it published in Musician magazine. And I think I have some pictures of her and Chad I'll post with this. But when the whole thing was done and over with, Chad read through it, and he was like, "Oh, this is way too technical. I think this is above everybody's head. They're not going to understand everything." So even doing all that effort to do exactly what he wanted, it didn't come out exactly what he thought would be. And Chad is one of the nicest people you would ever meet. Pharrell, he's a little an acquired taste, I would have to say. But so that's my story, and it was very, very interesting.